Arya had always believed the ocean remembered every story it touched, which was why she chose to live on Solmare Island, a quiet crescent of white sand, turquoise water, and palm trees that whispered when the wind passed through. She worked at a tiny lighthouse cafe perched on a cliff, serving coconut tea and homemade pastries to wandering tourists and sleepy fishermen. One sunny afternoon, while Arya arranged shells along the railing, a small boat appeared offshore, rocking precariously. A young man leaped out, stumbling onto the sand with a backpack dripping seawater. His name was Kale, a marine biologist who had come to study coral reefs but arrived days earlier than planned after his research vessel broke down. He was charming, a little clumsy, and carried a smile that felt like a tide pulling her in. Arya offered him tea and a place to sit, and before long he was telling her stories of deep-sea creatures and how some fish never left their partners once they found them. Days turned into weeks as Seal settled into island life, sharing breakfast at the Lighthouse Cafe and snorkeling at sunrise with Arya as his guide. She showed him hidden coves where sea turtles slept, caves that echoed like singing shells, and a secret underwater garden where coral glowed lavender at dusk. Seal taught her how to track dolphins and identify star patterns reflected on the waves. Their laughter floated across the island like music, and even the ocean seemed to soften around them. One evening, as they sat on the beach beneath a sky filled with constellations, Kale told Arya he had never felt at home anywhere until now. Her heart fluttered, unsure whether she was falling for him or the way he saw the world. But the island was fragile, and one morning, Kale discovered bleaching in the coral garden, a warning sign that the reef was dying. He spent sleepless nights studying samples, drafting proposals, and calling agencies for help, while Arya brought him tea and quiet comfort. Together, they rallied the islanders, gathering volunteers to plant new coral fragments and shield the reef from harm. Their days became a rhythm. Sunrise dives, shared lunches, late-night planning under lanterns. Slowly, the reef began to heal. One afternoon, Kale brought Arya to the garden they had fought to save, pointing to a tiny patch of new coral glowing soft pink. "This," he whispered, "is what hope looks like underwater." She smiled, realizing that somewhere between saltwater and starlight, she had fallen completely. Then, news arrived. Kale received a prestigious research offer across the ocean, a dream he had chased for years. Torn, he told Arya he didn't want to leave, yet couldn't let the opportunity slip away. She encouraged him to go, even though her heart felt like a crashing wave. On his last night, they stood on the cliff as the ocean glowed with bioluminescence, waves glittering like constellations. "If the sea remembers everything," he said, "it will remember us." He boarded a boat at dawn, leaving only footprints on the sand and a promise to return. Months passed, and Arya spent mornings tending the cafe and afternoons diving with new coral volunteers. Then, one sunset, she saw a boat gliding toward shore, its sails catching golden light. Sail stood at the bow, clutching a box filled with new coral seedlings. Arya ran to him, and as the ocean whispered around them, he smiled and said, "I finally found my way home."